Hello friends, today we are going to talk about a very important homeopathic remedy for the liver ailments. Name of the remedy is Carduus Marianus. It is one of the most prescribed homeopathic remedy for the liver ailments. Let's talk about its general mental symptoms, its emotional symptoms. Carduus people are very quiet one. They don't talk much. They don't want to talk a lot. But they are people who lives in their own world, in their own and lives their own life. They are very hardworking. Uh, they they are very diligent. They love to work alone, and they, there is a deep-seated melancholy, sadness, uh, a, dis- a disposition to weep, and these patients are very forgetful. It is the very early stage of the Carduous people that they are very forgetful. They forget about what they are going to do. The symptoms which I am going to tell you are those symptoms which I have seen in many cases relevant to liver disease and cardios. So they are people, they have huge patience in themselves. They don't quarrel, they don't want to quarrel, and they don't want to interfere in others' life. But they are very patient. They, if somebody is teasing them, if somebody is making them angry, they will not uh, 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 give the response right away, but there is a suppressed anger. They will not show their anger. Yes, there is a line, there is a limit when they will show their anger immensely. So these are the patients which are very I would say that very quiet and very calm persons, and they realize that their health is declining, and but they won't fight for it. They won't, they don't fight for their health. They don't go doctor to doctor, or they don't share their health situations with the people, but they realize that their health is declining, and there is a sense of acceptance, and there is a sense of resignation that they can't do anything about their declining health. So they, what they do, they work, and they work very hard till the end of their life, and they they are people uh, that in the moments of joy, when there is some party happening or some gathering, they will look happy, they will respond to others, but there is a deep seated sadness which persists all the time in the Carduous cases. I personally think that this the suppressed anger which they don't show on the spot, and this deep-seated sadness about their health, this makes them the patient of liver. I think so, and so there, there. I have told you the symptoms that forgetful. They are very hardworking. Uh, they indifference to health is the rubric of Carduus, that they don't, they accept that their health is declining, but they don't do anything, they don't do any effort about it. And I told you that they will avoid squirrels. And then there is a sense of irritability. Their mind is irritable, and they are very sensitive to the noise. And then there comes the sleeplessness. Mm, very I would say, when they wake up, they are not fresh. They don't wake up fresh, but instead of freshness there is a tiredness. There is a fatigue. They don't want to wake up, and they don't have this courage and this power, this energy to wake up, because there is a pain in the whole body, as if it is beaten. So these are all the general symptoms, general mind symptoms of the Carduus people. Now let's see the physical side of the Carduus. If we see the physical side of the Carduus, they are very they are chilly patient. So chilly patient, who are very uh, who have this tendency to get chilled while uncovering, especially in the night. And then if we see the symptoms of head, there we see that a very severe kind of headache, a very sick headache in the frontal area above the eyes, and mostly it is on the right sided, half-sided headache. And this headache is very severe headache, which ends in bilious vomiting. And after vomiting, the headache will be gone. There won't be any headache. And if we see the symptoms of the eyes, we see that there is a burning in the eyes. There is a oppressive pain in the eyeball, and the eyelids, the upper and lower eyelids, they might be swollen, little swollen, and there might be burning in them. And also the colors of the eyes, as you know that it is a remedy of the liver, so there will be a yellowish color in the eye, yellowish tinged eyes. And if we see the symptoms of mouth, there will be much saliva in the mouth, taste and bitter taste in the mouth, and the roof of the mouth, the palate, will be, there will be a sensation of a grease, as if it is covered with grease. And if we see this tongue will be look like, in the middle of the tongue it will be like white coated, and the edges and the tip of the tongue, color of the tip and the edges of the tongue will be red color. So these are all the symptoms. And then we have rheumatism. In Carduus is a rheumatic remedy, you know. There will be symptoms of a hip joint pain, in the hip joint, very immense, very severe pain in the hip joint, which goes through the buttocks to the thighs, and very painful on the rising and on the stooping. So this the hip joint pain with the liver indicates us to the Carduus. And there will be pain in the forearms, the fingers of right or left hand, the index finger and the middle finger and the ring finger. These are all the symptoms which I have seen in the patients of the Carduus. Okay, and then there will be pains in knees, under the knee tendons, are very painful, and in the when he starts to walk, there will be a huge pain in the knees, in the cap of knees, and when he is tired, then of course there is a very much pain in the knees. And I have also seen the coldness of soles, feet, and this coldness is also present in carbovegetabilis. So it is a rheumatic remedy with the ailments of liver. Now let's see the symptoms of the abdomen. Liver is a liver remedy, so uh, the liver and spleen may be enlarged, and there maybe we can find there the ascites, retention of water, and typhlitis, which occurs when the lining of the intestine is damaged. So there is very much pain. This pain, it is a kind of a pressive pain and contracting pain in the abdomen, which can wake the patient in the night. In the middle of the night, patient will wake up with the pain of this contracting pain of the abdomen, which is if it is the pain of the spleen, then deep inspiration will aggravate the pain. So this pain will be wandering pain. It can go to the chest, it can go to the back, but the main center is abdomen. And Carduus is a remedy where we see a hyperacidity, very much acidity in the Carduus patients, and gastritis. We can see that violent pain in the right abdomen, which is worse by pressure. Sometimes we see the heat. This remedy is also indicated in the cases of gallbladder infections like alkali inflammation, and we see that there is a case of constipation, complaints of constipation, and the pain of the gallstone is very violent, and it can say that it establishes healthy flow of bile, which settles the condition that favors gallstone formation. So it is very effective remedy for the liver and as well as spleen and gallbladder. Then we see lack of appetite, excessive thirst, and desire to add salt, and then we see that desire of beer, and then we see that the patient is very there is a aversion to food, and after the food there is a empty erections, and we see that pain in the abdomen is very severe. It is very severe, as we see in the headache, that severe headache which was ameliorated by the bilious vomiting. So here in the pain, when in the pain of abdomen, when the abdomen is affected, and violent and very immense pain and the contracting pain in the abdomen, which is also ameliorated by vomiting of dark blood. So we see in the Carduus that all kind of hemorrhages, that whether it be epistaxis, which ameliorate the condition of dizziness, and whether it be hemorrhage of vaginal hemorrhages, every kind, blood vomiting, hematemesis. So every kind of hemorrhage is ameliorate ameliorate the patient's general complaints. And after these hemorrhages, patient will become very calm and in a very good condition. So after that, if we see the uh, symptoms of throat, there is a dryness in the throat and burning in the esophagus, and there will be heartburn. As I told you, it is a hyper acidic remedy, and their complexion is very yellowish, dirty, and there will be habitual nosebleed, and let's see the symptoms of asthma which we have in Carduus. In asthma, there will be a sticky sputum. The sputum will be sticky and thick, and there will be blood in the sputum. There might be it might be mixed with this mucus, or there can be the whole blood in the sputum. The asthma pains. In the asthma, the chest and the scapula of right scapula is affected. There will be pain. There will be stitching pain in the left side of the chest, and there will be a pain in the right scapula, which you can also see in the chelidonium. And this pain is aggravated by cough. So the violent cough, in Carduus there is a violent cough, and as I told you in the symptoms of abdomen, that pain of abdomen can wake him at night, as it is we see in the asthma cases, which have the asthma relevant to the liver. We see that the cough can wake the patient in the middle of the night, and with cough there will be pain in the chest and in the scapula, and this pain extends to the lumbar region. So there will be wandering pains. In asthma, in the Carduus asthma, the right lung, the lower right lung is affected, which is near the liver region. So as I told you, that there will be oppression in the chest, especially oppression will be on the deep breathing and on the stooping. In the stitches in the splenic region are especially on inspiring and stooping. As I have told you that this remedy is used effectively in the cases of tonsillitis, and there will be stitches in the splenic region, especially on inspiring and stooping. Liver and spleen both very much enlarged, so that they seem to fill the abdomen. Pain in the liver region when lying on the left side, which we can see in the arnica, nectrum sulf, magnesia mure. So this violent pain in the right abdomen is worse by pressure. The patient will shout, he can cry that don't touch me on the hypochondrium. And same it happens in the cough of the patient, that the cuff is aggravated on the pressure on the right hypochondrium. So these are all the combination of symptoms which I have seen in my practice, which I told you. Diarrhea and constipation may alternate. There will be profuse diarrhea in the cases of rectal cancer, as you can use it in cases of rectal cancer. There will be burning pain in the rectum and anus, which interferes with sitting. Obstinate and long-standing constipation, hard stool, clay-like pasty stool, yellowish or you can say chocolatey colored stool. There will be burning pain in the rectum. So if we see the urinary symptoms, urinary organ symptom, then there we will see that there will be urging to urinate, accompanied by chest pain. Strong, very strong urging I have seen in the cases, very strong urging on waking at night with chill, but little, very little urine is passed. The color of the urine is golden yellow, or you can say the brownish color. And it is also to note that the pain in the female urethra, which compel her to stand, and also pain in the bladder, both these pains are burning pains which compel them to stand. You can compare Carduus with the Bryonia, Chalidonium, Lycopodium, and Podophyllum. These are all the remedies which have the symptoms